Okay.
Sorry, I'm pushing the
Um,
wrong side. Okay. All right.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Leena Banerjee, and I'm the co founder and director of AirPMO, which is basically a digitized project management platform trying to bridge the gap between the planning versus execution. Most of the times, about only 9% of the project in across the globe is successful because of the fact that always the planning versus execution is never met in terms of time and budget. So that's what we are planning to do. We are a startup, just started with four partners, and we have a few team members who have joined us. I would like to, today I will be basically hosting the live session for Mr. Sanjay Sehgal, who's the chairman and CEO of MSIS Group. Sir, would you like to have a little bit of quick introduction or brief about MSIS or yourself, or should we straight away go to the questionnaire
I think
session?
let's get started. People who are watching, I think I'm sure that most of them already know me and who I'm sis. So I think let's get to the topics. Right? Thanks, Lena, for. Of course, I
Okay.
have to say it's the first time we're meeting, and
Yes.
I'm honored to be talking to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sehgal. So, shall the first question is one of your followers who have put up the question on your YouTube channel. It says, I have just started my career and this is my second company. I'm getting some good offers from other companies. I wanted to ask, is it worth changing career after 25? Over to you, Mr. Sehgal.
Sure, sure. I think yeah, I know a lot of youngsters, especially in India, they are faced with situations like this in today's job market. If I, if you can all, we all know what is happening out there. There are a lot of positions. There is a less supply and more demand right now. So I'm sure a lot of people are facing this situation. So I think this has two parts to these questions. One is changing your career. To me, changing company does not mean you're changing your career, right? I mean, you're working as a, let's say, as a programmer, as a project manager, as a marketing manager or something, and you're changing a company for better salary or better prospects, or better credibility of the company or more stability in your job. That to me is not changing your career. You're just changing the company, right? And I think yes, I mean, why not? I mean, after 25, after 30, after 35, I don't think age should be a factor. I know, growing up in India, many of us are, it is ingrained in us that, this is 17, you clear your high school, 21, you clear your bachelor's, and if you're going to go for master's or PhD, you do at certain age, and then you get into job market, and then job and marriage and this and that. I think that creates a lot of pressure. Hashtag no pressure, I would say. Let's do this campaign of hashtag no pressure. Hashtag start your life at any age. Why put age as one of the barriers in anything we do? Age is only a number, right? I mean, they say that 40 is new 20, 60 is new 40. I mean, think about all these things. I just turned 55, Lena, and I can tell you, I still feel I'm 25. So how does it matter? Age is only a number. So starting your career, starting a new job after 25, go ahead. Now changing your career after 25, in fact, you should change after 25, after 30, after 35. Why not? Why hold yourself back? If you have some new idea, if you have new energy in you, if you have new drive in you, do it. And there's a some once my mentor told me, unless you drive, you can't steer, right? I mean, unless you drive a car, you can't steer a car. You have to start the car first, and then you have to drive it, and then you can steer it. Changing directions can happen only after you start moving. So keep moving. And then when you find there are newer opportunities, newer drives, newer ideas, newer things, go for it. Remove age as a barrier in your mind. How about that for a lesson for today, for everyone who's listening,
Very
right?
true. And of course, there is no end to learning. By changing companies, we always add on to your learning also. That adds
Yes,
value to
yes.
your career, definitely, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. You add, learning never stops, and You, I think, and I think it keeps you, younger. But
Right.
at
And
the same time, Lena, I would say that I am also have been a strong proponent of not change jobs for the sake of just money and all that. Many times, I mean, I come across folks, and I'm not saying just because I'm an employer and we are faced with this situation also that people change jobs and all. But I think in general, I have seen it doesn't always pay well for you to keep changing jobs. Stability
correct.
is also, I think you learn. I think like when you talk about learning, and you should do that only after you feel that you have learned enough in one career or one company or one environment, or and I think only after that you should move in that direction, not just job hopping. I mean, often we find resumes where we find a candidate has hop job 5 jobs in last 4 years, and nothing we are, I mean, how, what you think about that person, right? Fortunately, in our society, in India at least, we don't find people having married 4 times in 5 years, right? What would the next girl or boy think, right? And if you think, I mean, in the Western world, I mean, I have had the fortune of being in both parts of the world, and here I won't call it that often, but I think I have come across people who have at least married 3 4 times in their and I remember a friend of mine once, after she was married 3 times, divorced 3 times, and then she was dating for the fourth time, she says, Sanjay, now I understand what marriage is all about. I said, thank heavens, at least you know it now. I mean, you know, I know sometimes people get married very early. First, you can say, okay, they can get married at 16 or 17 or 18, and you didn't understand your kids, and both of you were kind of irresponsible, and then you get divorced later on. But after third marriage and perhaps numerous datings, now you know what marriage is. Well, good luck.
I must say,
Sorry.
very brave people to be married so many times. Really needs courage.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay. So, shall we move to the next question?
Sure, sure.
The next question is, I would say you had mentioned why people, do job hopping 4 times in 5 years. This is one of the reason. So the next question is how to sustain in a corporate environment. I see a lot of politics around me.
See, that's a very I tell you, um, I I cannot say in my career. I mean, a lot of things that I share here, Lena, are from my personal experience. Though I have read a lot of books and all, but I think most of the things I like to share are from my own experience. I worked for a company initially for a couple of years, and then I moved to US, and I was there for one company with like 11 years or something. And I cannot say that there was no politics or something. I mean, there are always things around me, but I always manage to stay away or stay above the fray, as they say. And I think I learned again through one of my mentors that instead of looking for job satisfaction, if you do your job satisfactorily, you know and you can stay focused on it, and then everything else will not touch you. I mean, if you are going to work for doing a good work based on what you know or what you understand of what you are required to do, then obviously, I mean, you will not be participating on all the gossip around yourself. you know these things, politics and all this comes out of, in my view, insecurities of some people. And whenever you're doing good job, you remember in our mythology, Hindu mythology, there used to be this thing ki isne tapasya ki, and because of that, this deva, his sinhasan started vibrating, right? If I don't know whether you remember those stories, Indra ka
Yes,
sinhasan dol gaya, right? I mean, they will
yes,
talk about that. This guy was meditating so intensely, right? Doing tapasya so intensely that people got scared in the upper class of upper tier of the upper tier residents got scared. I think that's what happens at workplaces. If you're doing your job well, some people are feeling insecure. There's a gossip around that. And then of course that starts, somebody is noticing you, somebody is complaining about you, picking on you, picking all that stuff happens. But I think that, to me, if you see politics around you, it means you're doing a good job.
True.
And if you're doing a good job, I'll say stay at it. And if you have to take the bull by the horns, do it. I can tell you in my case, I mean, there was an environment once I was doing extremely well in my, in my corporate work. I had just switched my career. We talk about switching career. I switched from engineering to product marketing and sales, product sales, and I was doing extremely well because I knew the product, I knew the clients, and I knew inside out of the market. So I think our people around me, like our other sales guys, were really, really scared, and there was a lot of gossip. There was a lot of scheming used to happen around me and everything. And I mean, I used to ignore it most of the time. And one day, it just came to this that they instead of cornering me, they cornered one of the guys who used to report to me and fired him in my absence. I was on a business trip. I came back and I saw the guy who used to report to me. He was fired. I went to HR. I reported that. I said, I am the immediate manager. Isn't your policy that immediate manager should be present while you fire an employee? They said it is. Then I said, then it means you did something very, very wrong, illegal. And I should take it up with the company board and company management. That scared the hell out of them. Scared the hell out of people from HR who were colluding with that team, was scheming, right? And the people who were scheming. And then they just stopped. I mean, if they find that they can run over you, I mean, of course. So coming back to the question of how to sustain in a corporate environment, I always find that be a sincere, genuine person who's there, who's meant to do good work for which he's getting paid for, and everything else should take care of itself. And if situation comes to that where you have to take bull by the horns, do not be shy. Do it. I mean, the
Right.
world. I mean, in the previous one of the sessions, I was talking about that the story of a snake that somebody said, snake, you shouldn't bite, but shouldn't which we shouldn't we are not stopping you from hissing. you know we are telling you not to bite, not to hurt others, but when somebody tramples on you, you can hiss. That will be enough for them to stop. So be strong about it. Whoever has sent that question, you can sustain. It is not bad. I mean, the whole world, not just the corporate environment, everything around us is people, right? And we are always working with people in the house, in our relationships, in our friendships, and including work, right?
True. Shall we move to the next one? As a 20-year-old with all the stress related to career and relationships, I find it difficult to meditate. How can one work on bringing a balance in spiritual and material aspects of life?
So, Leenaji, what do you think for a 20-year-old? Well, it is hard. I mean,
I'm
go
glad
ahead.
that a 20-year-old is thinking of meditation. That's a good sign. That's a positive sign.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes, you're right. You're right. That itself, I think it means you are one of those rare ones who's
Yes,
thinking about, who instead of thinking about which video to watch next on Netflix
right.
or
And a selfie.
Amazon or selfie, or what to post today, right? Or what did I miss on IG, Instagram, or instead of that, you're thinking about this. I think it is you already are there, that you're thinking about how to bring a balance. There is no, I would say, there is no formula as such. Whoever has asked this question, that it is by keep trying. I like to tell you a funny story that when I started meditation, Leena ji, when I had moved to US and I was 23 years old. And prior to doing meditation, I used to get up at 9 and be at work by 9:30 with a burger in my hand and coffee on the other hand. And it was like quickly rush through the shower, be in the car, pick up something, be at work by 9:30, right? And I started meditation. I thought, well, I should get up early. So I'll get up at 6 o'clock. Imagine, I mean, 3 hours of sleep you are sacrificing, right? That's a lot to sacrifice, right? And I would get up at 6 to sit for meditation, and I would fall asleep, and then get up at 9, be at work. I thought, well, this is not good. I'm cheating. So I thought, okay, I'll get up at 6, take shower, and then do meditation, and then go further with my routine. Didn't work. I thought, okay, I take shower and then drink coffee. Didn't work. I thought, okay, I take shower and drink tea. Didn't work. Take shower and go for a walk and then meditate, and then didn't work. Finally, I thought, to hell with this. I'll just, whatever happens, I'm fine with it. I had to just give it 2 3 weeks, and then I was fine. Body take time to adjust. So I think for a 20-year-old, you know, I think one is finding the time, finding, sifting through, or fighting with all those other demands that are coming around him. His friends calling, "Hey, movie chalte hain, यहाँ चलते हैं, वहाँ चलते हैं" type. Family saying, "Why are you meditating?" Right? It's not your age to meditate. All those things, of course, the person has to fight. But I think stay at it, and there will be I would say, a reward at the end of all this, and you will really enjoy that later on in your life.
But I think nowadays things have changed. I mean, meditation has become a part of life for a lot of people, and there are no such questions being asked. I mean, the parents would be happy to see their children doing a meditation. I'm sure things have changed. People are more aware of the whole thing now.
Oh, wonderful! That's one very nice to hear.
Yes,
And if I think if that is the case, then I think why not? I think then he should just go all in, right?
right. Okay, moving on. Next question. In these difficult times, how can we earn our clients' trust and extend our consultancy service to support them? Very good question.
See, in these times, I mean, times have been challenging for everyone. Though some markets, or some, I would say, fields have picked up well, but others have not, right? And but I think in a situation like this, we never know. I feel that for anyone providing any kind of service to others, these days the most important thing is being empathetic to them. You know, I have seen, I think, in some of our clients' cases where they, early on when the pandemic hit, they did get hit bad, and they had to realign their priorities. And so we were very empathetic to their need to realignment and worked closely with them to assist them. Now, over last year and a half, without disclosing the name of the client, that client actually got acquired by a larger company. And I would say that because of all the, I would say, the the help they saw from us in their bad times, right? They stuck to us in the larger company. We just, in fact, as a matter of fact, yesterday only I signed that contract with that larger company, that who has acquired this startup, and we'll be supplying services to the larger company now, larger firm, and hopefully it'll be bring us more business, and help that the founders of that earlier company to do better, and more products. So I think it is, to me, that being empathetic to your clients' needs will always help you win their trust. And the second thing, is always being genuine and authentic.
Correct.
And I think that is something that is always, I mean, whether bad times or good times,
Good times.
if you
Exactly
are,
what I was thinking. Yes.
so if you are genuine and authentic to your clients, they will love to refer you to other clients. Leena ji, I think I'm very, very kind of, I know a lot of people who will be listening to this are perhaps employees of MSIS, or ex or present or future employees of MSIS. I'm very happy to share with them that almost, I would say, 99% of our clients stay with us regardless of where they go. When I say where they go, we work with a lot of startups, so they get acquired or go public, or become a lot bigger than they originally were when we started working with them. But they stick to us. Some of our, I mean, our company has been, I would say, has been in operation since 2008, and we still have our first few customers that we had signed up in 2008 working with us. And not only that, even the people who work with us, and even if they leave the company and go to some other company, they love to give us business because of that experience they have had with us. And I think that's something, as I said, from my personal experience, I can share with them, than being empathetic to your clients and being genuine and authentic. It always works.
Right. So basically, if we deliver what we claim, that's when the trust comes, right? So
Yes, yes.
that is where the customer support fails in a lot of places. I have about 25 plus years of experience, work experience. So that is what I've faced everywhere, be it Airtel, Vodafone. I was with Telecom initially, Tata Docomo, and all these companies that I've worked for. Everywhere it is, what you're claiming, you're not delivering. Sometimes that is when the
Yes,
trust
yes.
goes, right? Okay, moving.
Absolutely. And I think I'm glad you mentioned that, because I kind of assume that you are delivering, and beyond delivery, it is being authentic and being genuine and sympathetic, or
Right.
empathetic to your clients. But I think absolutely delivery comes first. Actually, I mean, if you're not going to deliver what you're talking about, or in fact, the genuineness and transparency and all that comes because you're, even if things go south, you are upfront with them.
And that is where a very, a proper training needs to be given to the sales team specifically. Because of the meeting the targets, there are a lot of false commitments which are being made in the market.
Yes, yes.
If we can groom the sales team to probably speak what they can deliver, that would be a good option to uh, bridge this gap that we have in India, especially.
No, I agree with you, and I think, yeah, that is sales teams need to be taught when to say no. The power
Correct.
of no. They say power of
Yes.
no,
Power of
right?
no. Right.
Yes. So I think it is very important to realize when we are not ready yet.
Right.
And I think these are. I agree with you. I think I always like to tell our salespeople, we have a term called SWOT. Sell what is on the
Right.
truck,
Right.
right?
Right.
Don't sell future things. Don't commit to things that you can't deliver. Always sell things which are already there.
And also, one thing, I don't know if you'll agree with me, a proactive approach of the customer support team is very much essential. You need to understand the customer requirement before they speak out. That is something which I've always found lacking.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think the best salespeople are the ones who are able to understand customers' requirements, right?
Right.
And translate. I think that was reason for my success when I switched from engineering to marketing and product marketing and sales myself,
Mhm.
because I understood the market and technology very well. So I think I was able to relate to what customer is actually looking for.
Right. Okay. Shall we move to the next one?
Sure.
Okay. Uh, I recently saw your sales versus engineer video. It was very impressive. I'm from sales and I wanted to ask how to negotiate with furious or aggressive customer. There we come back to sales. See?
Sure, sure, sure. Well, it is, we find those furious and aggressive customers a lot. In fact, a lot more in India than in the West, in US. In US, they're generally more respectful. I think people, if they're listening to this, and if you are on the other side of dealing with vendors, I think you may want to tone down your aggression. And I think it is, for some reason, I think this behavior comes from, again, I would say, a sense of insecurity. But let's not go there. Let's, I think, talk about this person, how to train him to negotiate or deal with these furious and aggressive customers. I would say, first of all, you should never react. And
Right.
like we talk about power of no, there is another thing called power of listening.
Listen.
Be a good listener. Be a very, very good listener, and never react to that client's comments and all that or whatever he says. And that will be the reason behind your success if you ever succeed with him or her, you know. And we have had many similar situations where, we had to deal with aggressive customers, and that's kind of how we did it. And I think I tell you good things about those furious and aggressive customers is once they become your friends, I mean, they'll be your friend for lifetime, and they will actually same aggression they will use to defend if things ever go south. You know, I mean, if suppose in delivery, suppose there is an issue later on, they will be your strong supporter within their organization. So I think it's an important, you take up one, at least one, converting one furious aggressive customers on your side. Take that up as your challenge for the next few months, and see if being a good listener always helps. And non don't react, and understand what they're trying to say, and
Hmm.
provide them with the solution, because at the end, I mean, he needs a solution. That's why he's talking to you. Otherwise, why would he be wasting your time, right? Or his time, rather. And I mean, a person is talking to you because he's looking for some solution to a problem they have, right? Whether it may be technology, it may be product, or whatever, the case may be. So if you have that solution, if you have ability to provide that solution, they'll be on your side sooner or later.
Right. So I just wanted to share a story. In telecom, we say irate customers. So we were always told, I was in customer support. So irate customers are better than silent customers, because irate customers you have a chance of retention. Silent ones just move out of your network. So,
That is that very good one. I remember that. I remember that. Irate
yes.
customers are good customers. They're at
So
least saying something.
as long as they're giving you a chance to speak and explain and provide a solution, you can keep them in the network. But if they're
Yeah,
silent, then there's no hope.
absolutely.
Okay, moving on. Next question. I want to set up a company, but I'm afraid to take risks. Please guide.
Well, you want to set up a company, but you're afraid to take risk. Why not? Take some risk. What is harm in it? I mean, I think this is. Uh, I don't know
I
what to
think
say
I,
to you.
I think I can answer that because I'm an entrepreneur now.
Sure, please go ahead. Go ahead, Hinaji.
No, no, I'm just saying you should take it up. You give them a
Nay,
good, uh,
no, well, I
probably.
think see the people, the risk afraid or fear of taking risks. It comes from our fear of failure. Human mind always thinks about the negative first, right? And they say psychologically, they say it takes three positive thoughts to negate every negative thought. So suppose you think one day, you think you're motivated, you're excited, I want to do something on my own, and you just go and talk to your friends, your family members, your spouse, or whatever the case may be, and then somebody tells you, or in the you sleep off, and then next day morning comes, what if it doesn't succeed? Now the negative thought, all those 300 positive thoughts you had yesterday, this one negative thought, if it is powerful enough, can negate all those, right? So I would say, I think the trick here is, if you really want to do that, surround yourself with positive people who would encourage you. Now some people may say, well, some people, I also need realistic advice. Yes, of course you need that. Realistic doesn't mean negative. Realistic means setting up right expectation, that you may lose your paycheck now, so you'll have to build your business up to a certain level to get to that paycheck and things like that. But that really doesn't mean that you have to think negative. So I would say, number one, surround yourself with positive people who will encourage you. Second, have some mentors who have been there, done it. I mean, Leena ji just now shared that she plunged into entrepreneurship herself. I mean, she could be a great mentor. People like that who have just been there, done it, and recently did it. I mean, it means they have gone through that path, and like they have got travel. They say, road less traveled. They have traveled through the road that not many dare to travel. Right? It takes a lot of courage to do that, and never be afraid of failure. Of course, it's easier said than done. I have always defined, there's a quote of Winston Churchill that I have always, repeated, that for me, success means going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. It's okay. What if you fail? It's fine. I mean, every day you want to get up at 5, but you get up at 6. Is that a failure? No, right? You go to sleep again. Oh, I don't want to sleep today because yesterday I wanted to get up at 5. I didn't. I failed. See, think about it. There are so many things in life that we want to do in certain way, but we are not able to. It's okay. Being vulnerable is not bad. See, somewhere, these a lot of these sales talks that are given. Oh, always be this, always this, always. I mean, they teach you to be alpha male or alpha female. I think it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to fail sometimes. It's okay. It's okay to be natural. As long as you can keep yourself integrated, you can keep yourself together. Keep moving. You wanted to get up at 5, you got up at 6 today. But you did beat yourself up for wasting the 1 hour of sleep, extra sleep. But then you got around to doing things throughout the day, and you found that 1 hour of extra sleep gave you better rest to be more productive throughout the day. See the positive side, focus on the positive. If you failed, at least you learned, and you were in a better frame of mind to do the next thing. I'm taking the example of sleep to your startup or your next venture. You learned something, and now that gave you enough wisdom, enough lessons to do it better the next time. So I think it is hopefully that helps you, whoever is trying to do or has sent this question, that fear will be there, but you can go past the other side by surrounding yourself with positive people, having good mentors, and failure is nothing big. We fail all the time. Don't be afraid of failing. You have a lot of company there,
Right. So we have another question which has just come up from Kavita G, who's uh, listening to us. Sir, what would you suggest to have a healthy working environment in the teams within and also the different teams working in sync?
I think creating the environment of trustworthiness, I feel, is very, very important for the success of any team. They say when a company is successful, it is not one person who succeeded. It is the entire company, the team, or a project is successful. It's never one person, right? There's a famous saying that we are as strong as our weakest link. What does it mean, right? That if you have one weak link in the team, you're as strong as that. So if you have actually succeeded, in delivering a product, project, company, or whatever else you may be doing, actually it means the team is very cohesive, team is strong together. And I loved listening to this Simon Sinek. In case people have heard of him, some of his videos, he talks about that the right hiring is where instead of hiring the top performer, you hire a guy who could be average to above average in performance, but high in trustworthiness. That's important. They say that people don't work for companies, people work for people. And I
True.
think team creating that good working environment within the teams is very, very important for every company. A lot of things we talked about today, avoiding politics, avoiding this, avoiding that kind of, that all goes down to creating healthy environment and creating that trust between the team members. And there are, I mean, I know there are, I don't want to quote just HR manuals, and of course these are COVID times and we can't have a lot of team building activities, but there are many team building activities. But for me, the most important thing is everybody feeling secure and content within themselves. If we can ever achieve that, this world will be a different place, you know.
Another question from Merun. Sir, how to fight the inhibition within and be confident in raising our voice when we see politics happening around, like you did as a manager when your team member was fired?
How to fight the inhibition within and be confident in raising your voice? Have a good cup of coffee.
With the manager?
No, no, yourself. Not caffeinated. Caffeinate yourself, right? Or if you are kind of anyway, I'm just kidding. But what I mean to say is that, I mean, this is, you know, there are, reading a book which will raise your confidence in doing so. Listening to something like this, a talk like this. I have heard from many people, they say that whenever I was kind of this, and I know you had talked about hiring good people, and I listened to your talk, and I really got something out of it. I mean, one of the reasons, Dinaji, I record these things, I share this, is so that it's a lot of things that I have learned through the journey of my gray hair, and I can share with people, and hopefully it helps them in their lives, right? And so, Meron, I think is the best way to fight inhibition is to fight it, to come out of it, to be inspired to do this, to do the right thing. You have to remind yourself that when you're doing the right thing, as your heart says, and you're, I mean, there cannot be any stopping. What will you lose at the end? You may lose your job. It's okay. It's just one job. I'm sure there are better ones out there for you. When they say, in when one door closes, many more open for you. And have some faith. I think, "Ye man of little faith," has the same Bible, right? So I think it is. We all need to have faith in something beyond our two-dimensional existence. That there are better things in store for us if we do the right thing. So hopefully that inspires you enough, Meron.
Right. I see no further questions. Anybody else? Or shall we conclude today?
I think we can conclude, Rinaji. Thanks a lot for
Right.
having me.
Thank you, Mr. Segal, for providing all these inputs. And I'm sure your words and wisdom have helped many listeners who are right now listening to us. So, for more such wisdom, do subscribe to Mr. Segal's channel and follow him on social media. Thank you, Mr. Segal, for your time. And thank you, everyone who's been
Thank you.
watching this. Have a good day.